Hey guys, it's your host of the chomp Daily again, Noah. Hope you guys are doing well. I know I've been gone for, well, really a week, almost a little bit over. I've just been really sick. I got hit with something big. I mean, I don't understand what it was, but I was sick as a dog for so many days. And then we lost power for almost 2 days. Well, actually no, yeah, almost 2 days because of the big storm that hit my states and many other states. If you were following that, a couple tornadoes touched down. My house was luckily okay, but still lost power, and it took them forever to get power back on. But I'm back, and good lord, I have so many video ideas that I wanted to get out of the way, and today I wanted to go over something that I feel we needed to get out there, and that is 5 things we do not want to see in Legends ZA. I know on this channel, I have explicitly said for us to be optimistic, to give Nintendo a chance, give Game Freak a chance, and we should. Do not get me twisted. But at the same time, they do have a track record of bringing back mechanics or doing stuff that just hurt the release of the game. Sure, they may go back and they fix it later, but it should never be that way. It should be damn near spotless by the time it comes out. So with this video, we're going to go over 5 things that I believe we should avoid going into this. So we're going to start from the worst and go down to number 5, which is the least worst. Something that I'm not so concerned about. So ignore my sniffles and everything, because I'm still getting over. I do feel a lot better, but I'm better enough to make a video. So the first thing, and this is the biggest one, is releasing a buggy just catastrophe. When they release Legends ZA, Game Freak and Nintendo need to make sure that this game is just ready. No matter if it's for the Switch or for Nintendo Switch 2. And I plan on buying this for the Nintendo Switch 2. So I'm expecting, for it being a new release, it is going to be damn near spotless. And for the Nintendo Switch, they shouldn't have an excuse either, since this was the first console they were going to make it on. I have always praised Scarlet and Violet, and I still do. Game is fun. I personally give it an 8.5 out of 10, but that's because of its story, the amazing DLCs, the shiny hunting, and the immersion that Scarlet and Violet give. Like, the immersion of Scarlet and Violet is amazing. However, it's not perfect, and even though that those things did bring its score up for me, just because it did carry it. It allowed you to forget about, some of the slowness, some of the, the render, going down. But they also tried to fix it. Like, they did a whole bunch of updates for Scarlet and Violet, and they're still doing a couple, and they're helping with it. But it still doesn't defeat the fact that when Scarlet and Violet first released, it was not the most clean game there was from their entire arsenal of Pokemon games. And we need to avoid that. We shouldn't have to wait later for them to do some bug patches that just help it mostly. It should come out damn near perfect. Sure, there's going to be things that they got to fix going down the line. Every game has to have their bug fixes, even if it comes out nearly perfect. But that isn't what happened with Scarlet and Violet. It came out buggy and sloppy. So with Legends ZA, we need to go ahead and make sure that this game comes out near perfect. Now, I love how the game looks. I've said multiple times that I think it looks great. But there's still that possibility of it coming out sloppy, and I really do not want them to do that. So that's my number 1. Do not release a buggy mess. Now for number 2, this one's really huge because this is a key point of the game. This is a very big focal point and mechanic of the game, and that is Mega Evolutions. I want Mega Evolutions for Pokemon that deserve it or need one. I just don't want them throwing out Mega Evolutions just because they can. And on top of that, I don't want them to make Mega Evolutions that are silly or just pointless. When Mega Kangaskhan still made its debut, I was a little bit weary about it, to be honest. Like, I wasn't even a big fan of Mega Kangaskhan, because all it was the baby popped out. But at the same time, it made sense, because the Mega Evolution provides life energy and extra energy towards the entire Pokemon. And since Kangaskhan's technically 2 Pokemon, that energy would affect the baby. Therefore, it would come out and it would fight with its mother. Now, that is amazing to me, and the older I've gotten, the more I've come to respect Mega Kangaskhan. But that's something that works because of the specific, story that Kangaskhan has with its baby. I'm not sure if it would work for every other Pokemon. Like a Mega Dragapult, which I doubt will happen, but if they did, I don't think a Kangaskhan route would work for that. I don't know. But at the same time, Game Freak, we need you to make good Megas, but be careful with them to where they're not, like, underwhelming. Like, for example, Mega Garchomp. And I know Garchomp's my favorite Pokemon. We know this. But what's the point of Mega Garchomp? I mean, regular Garchomp's better. I mean, its lack of speed kills it. I mean, sure, it does get a little bit of a boost, but its boosts are not enough to where be like, oh, I'm going to choose that over regular Garchomp. The only thing that's good about Mega Garchomp is it's shiny. And some of its beefiness. That's it. It's shiny is what regular shiny Garchomp should be. So I will give it that. But I want Megas that are going to do well. And I really do pray for Mega Flygon if they do that. And if they do, they better not mess it up. But for number 3, and I think this is another one that helps with the immersion in story, is just rivals that actually matter. And when making this video, I know I hit on some of these kind of topics with some of the news videos I've done, about what we do and do not want. But I want to go into deep dives. And this deep dive really helps encapsulate what we want as a community. And rivals recently have been absolutely, just watered down. I mean, sure, when it comes to the Kitakami, rivals, sure, they definitely beefed them up a bit, but it just still wasn't anything crazy. I mean, even go to the Blueberry Academy, it's like no one's a threat, really. Sure, they can use items, but it's like they're not using Pokemon that I'm scared of, And, Kieran specifically, I mean, I like Kieran as a character, but for someone that has a grudge against you for catching Ogerpon, brother's kinda mundane. Honestly, he really is. So that is my middle of the middle of the road, because this is number 3. So it's this is my middle of the road issue, because I do want better rivals, because the past multiple generations, since I think honestly, I think since Sun and Moon, they just gotten worse and worse and worse dramatically, and I think we need to fix that. I mean, I want rivals like Blue or Silver or Cheerin or even Trace. Having rivals like Silver and Blue alone would be nice, because they were challenging. There was never a 100% chance that your team would win. You would actually have to mold yourself around to what you needed, to do to win that duel with them. And I personally believe if they go this route, it's going to bring in a bigger audience than we already do have. But it's going to allow a lot of us older players, which there's a giant community in Pokemon that are older, older teens or even in their 20s like me, even some that are in their 30s, and and a lot of them are doing YouTube as well. Now for me, I'm still in my 20s, so I'm not that old yet. But the point still stands is, they need to cater to everyone, not just childish stuff. And even then, there's a lot of childish games that hit on more of the darker or more challenging levels of things now. Not everything is as childish as it once was. So I think with better rivals, it's going to play into that. We're not just going to be babied, and it's going to help cater to a pretty large community that kind of misses those challenging trainers. Now for number 2, this is something that I'm going to hit on just a little bit, because I don't feel that it's going to happen that much, especially with what we've seen within the trailer. But with it being open world the way it is, I don't want it to be empty. I don't want it to be what people would call lifeless. And that's because in Paldea and in Hisui, they were both amazing games, and I loved traveling their lands, but sometimes in certain parts of both of those games, it would feel desolate. I mean, if you go to the Boglands in Hisui, and there's no Pokemon spawning there, it's just a very swampy, empty mess. Like, it feels like I'm in my backyard in Alabama. I do not live in Alabama, I'm just saying, I feel this is what they be looking at, you know? So, with that being said, I want there to be a little bit more personality, and I think there's going to be, just because with all of the extra additions that you can see within the trailer for the game. But, and from the looks of it, the Pokemon do react to you, and I like that. But I want to make sure that happens to every part. And once we get into the whole Battle Royale, I think us having more interactions outside of just battling the trainers would be nice. So we're just not walking empty streets, you know. At night, nothing to do. Now, there's a high chance that we still can catch Pokemon at night. I mean, we would have to, because there's some Pokemon that exclusively come out at night. Or in dark places. But it may be limited, and that's completely fine. But at the same time, I would like the Battle Royale just to be a little bit more, a little bit more personal. Because I know that we're going to have a lot of trainers that we got to fight, and I think if we go ahead and make it a little bit more lifelike, and we have more experiences, even if we win the duel, we can still talk to them, or they can give us tips, and they still wander, and maybe we will have a re-challenge feature, which I guarantee is going to be a thing. I just want every part of it to be full of life, not just during the day or certain parts. Like, all of it should be full of life, like it was in like the old games. I mean, look at Pokemon Emerald and Ruby and Sapphire. I mean, nostalgic, 2D games, but they have so much personality. I mean, Hoenn in general has a lot of personality, and I think they can achieve this with here. I mean, you have a culturally rich region within Kalos, and now being in Lumio City, it's basically Paris. I mean, that's nothing but culture, so I think they can do a lot here, and I really look forward to that. But again, it's not my biggest issue, because I don't think that's going to be an issue necessarily, just because there's a lot going on within like the game from what we saw, and they showed a decent amount, so I think we will be alright. But I do want to enter that in, just because that is an issue that I do not want to see happen. And then the last thing, at number 5, is just the DLCs. If we do get a DLC or any like subscription-based stuff, I think there needs to be a little bit more accessible stuff to it. Now, when I saw people complaining about the DLCs for Scarlet and Violet, a lot of them just couldn't afford it, or they had to wait longer because of the holidays. They just didn't have as quick access to it. And most people were like, okay, that is understanding. And there's just some people out there that are just insensitive. And I have seen genuine people just be gross and snobby and be like, well, that's your problem for not being able to afford it. And it's like, it's more than that. Sure, I can go out and buy the DLCs whenever I wanted. In fact, I pre-ordered the DLCs for Scarlet and Violet. Like, I had that shit on lock. But, and if there's anything DLC or subscription-wise within Legends ZA, I'm going to buy it, I'm going to pre-order, I'm going to have it, to myself. It isn't the fact of buying it. I have no problem buying it. I have plenty of money to go out and buy what I need. But not everyone has that. And I do plan, when I get my live streams up, which again, I will do my live streams, but with me being sick, it's been kind of hard to get everything done. Because I've just been sicker as a dog. But I do plan on giving stuff out, and with our streams, when I do them, I am going to do a couple of charity streams once I get more comfortable. And if by that time a DLC does come out, I have no problem helping others, obtaining. My biggest thing, especially with me going into med school, is I like to help people. Like that's my biggest reason into doing anything medical field wise. It's just because I like to help others. And if I can help others obtain a video game, I will. I mean, obviously through the more conventional and legal reasons, and ways of doing so. I have no problem buying it and giving a code to someone that wins it, or we do in some type of competition. I have no problem. But at the same time, Nintendo shouldn't have to, makes situations like that. I have no problem doing it. I have no problem giving back to the Pokemon community and people that love Pokemon like me. I believe that we all should be able to share this. And with that being said, I just find it kind of shitty that some people can't afford it, and that's absolutely okay. I mean, if you can't, it is what it is. But I think that you should. I think anybody should have access to these DLC and these subscription-based, contents. And I do not think that they should get rid of it, but I do think that they should allow certain attributes or certain parts of the game to be accessed for when they can eventually get it, or just make it cheaper. Just make it a little more reasonable than $30 for it all. Because I think for the bundle that I got, I think I paid $25, which isn't bad. But again, that's easy enough for me to say, because there's some people that are out there that don't just have that $25 to spend. And, even if they make 2 DLCs $10, together, $5 a piece, I mean, that's better than anything. But just some of these DLCs, I just believe that they should make cheaper, more accessible, just something to just to give us something more, just so everyone can have access. Because if you give access to everyone, that means everyone gets to experience new content, which means more people are going to buy the games, more people are going to experience them, and you get more good reviews, you get more positive feedback, or just more critical feedback that you just need as a company. So, with that being said, with the last one, sure, it isn't my top priority because there's other things that are more important, because without those other things, it wouldn't matter if there was a DLC or not, because the game's either broken, or the megas suck, or, you have a lifeless world experience. There's the other things I've stated. I'm not saying that, you being able to afford it is not as important, because it is. But what's the point of affording it and buying it if it's not worth a damn? So it's that's why all the reasons before it are more important, because I want those reasons to be fulfilled, so it'd be worth buying the DLC, be worth buying the subscription. And that's why it's my last mention on this 5 tier list. Well, I don't even really call it tier list, just 5 things we just do not want to see happen. And I will say this, and this is just an honorable mention, and that's just a limited Pokédex. Come on, let's not do a limited Pokédex. I mean, sure, with Scarlet and Violet has a lot of Pokemon, and they definitely helped out. But we have the technology to give us every single Pokemon from 001 to over. There's so many now. It's we're over 1,000, but I don't know how much we're over 1,000. I mean, especially with Gen 10 coming out eventually, I don't know how much time we got. So, I would just relish in the fact that we have all access to the over 1,000 Pokemon that we have access to, and I think it'd be really cool. I know it's a Legends game, but that's no excuse. I mean, it's still a part of the mainline Pokemon game, so I look forward to it. But overall, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Just let me know what your entire point of view is on all this. Do you agree with the 5 things that I don't want in Pokemon? Do you have other things that you're concerned with? I would love to hear it. I am always open to others' ideas and their comments, and as always, again, thank you guys as well as I finish up here. Just for the incredible support. I mean, 117 subscribers. I know for some that doesn't sound like a lot, but for me that's just huge, and it means the absolute world to me. So thank you for your support, and remember, don't forget to like, subscribe, and favorite. I think only 3% of my viewers are actually subscribed, so don't forget to subscribe. Because I'd definitely love to have you guys join me on our adventures over Pokemon. I'm going to post some more. I'm hoping tonight's the last night of being sick. I feel mostly alright, but there's just a little bit of just some backup stuff I'm trying to get out of my system, just so I feel 100%. But with that being said, guys, be a chomp above the rest, as always. And I look forward to talking to you again. See ya.